my friends, welcome to my farmhouse studio. I'm Marnay, your host, and we are on the second part of the Crows in the Corn pattern. This is by Lori Holt, and if you haven't seen the first video yet, you can go back and watch that. So I have been working very hard on this. As you can see, I got my design wall up, and I told you I would have it up by the second video. So I've got all the star blocks done. I am so excited. It's so colorful and it's so beautiful when you see it up on the wall. So I have 7 of the 8 left-facing crows, the left-facing crows. This pattern I would rate fairly easy if you are a piecer. I have all of my pieces cut up for the crows, and as you can see, I put most of them together. I am going to walk you through the 8th left-facing crow, and then I will take you and walk you through the right-facing crow. They are the same concept, only they're going to be put together a little bit differently. So there is a couple of tricksters in like the corner squares, because there is a lot of corner squares on the crow, but it's really easy, and I can kind of show you how I've kind of matched up the seams. Now this part right here, you have a corner square and then a corner square up on top. And I have found that if I nested them, they come together pretty spot on. There is a couple of them that I put together that were maybe just a slightly pinch off, but you really can't see it. So I'm not a perfectionist. I feel that close enough is good enough, so I think this is beautiful. The background fabric, I had told you all about this background fabric, and I have the maker of this, and it is, let me grab it. Okay, I saved the salvage pieces of this background fabric because I didn't remember what it was, and if anybody is interested in this background fabric, it is a very creamy color with this beautiful little orange in it. And it is called, the name of the fabric is Road to Round Top. Road to Round Top. It is by Elizabeth Chappell, and it is from Art Gallery Fabric. So I kind of found this on the salvage. So really pretty fabric, and I said I would probably bring this fabric out in my border eventually when I get to it, but I changed my mind. I have another fabric, and where did I put it? Hold on a minute, and I'll get that. Okay, this is what I got. This, since this is a Lori Holt pattern, I thought maybe I should put a little Lori Holt fabric in it. And actually when I was at Erin's yesterday, and I'm wandering around her shop because there's so much in there, and I saw this fabric, and it is very fall, and it has all of these letterings on it, and I just thought this would be so great with that soft little orange flowers in the background. So I'm thinking, since I have quite a bit of this art gallery fabric left, I might put a very thin inner border of the delicate orange flowers, and then I'm going to do my wide border with this, because as you can see, let me see if you can see up at the top, I have the corner stars, and these corner stars up in the top, and there's 2 in the bottom, they are for the border, and they don't have as many bands on them as the inner ones do, because this one has 2 this way and then 3 in the out way. And they only have 1 color around them, so it makes them a little bit smaller. But I can't give you the directions in the pattern, but the pattern will walk you through everything that you need to know with this. This is fairly easy if you're a piecer. So this is really fun. So I'm going to take you through and walk you through how I put the crow together. So fun. So stay with me. All right, guys, I've got my pattern pieces all laid out. This is how it's going to go together. And I can show you here that there is a lot of these little corner squares that I'm going to start with sewing these all on first. Now in the pattern, she has you do all the pieces like with the corner squares all at once, and chain piece them through. I have put my birds together individually because I enjoy the process of seeing them come together, and then I put it on my board and I get really excited. So I am going to, like I said, I'm going to sew on all of these corner squares, and then I will show you how I'm doing this. And all right, I have all the cornerstones, or the corner squares are sewed into position. So this is how they're all going to go. So the first pieces that I'm going to put together is the beak with the head. And I am going to sew these two down. Some things that I want to explain is, I don't know if some of you are press your seams open. I don't press my seams open, but I have experimented with some of the seams on here, whether to press them open or not. And I might have to push and pull here and there to make everything line up precisely, because there is a lot of corner squares in here, and this is a lot of piecing, and there could be some bulkness in where the seams are. So some parts I might press open, others I just kind of press it over. And I do have this little tool here, and this works great for pressing it down so I don't have to iron it every time, which I really like that thing. So whoever sent this to me, thank you. That is an amazing little tool. So I'm just going to kind of sew these pieces together and show you how these come together. So I'm kind of move you over here to the sewing machine so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Now my corners, sometimes, like I said, you have to finagle it to kind of get everything to line up. That's only because you have all these corner square triangles in here, and they can make things go askew a little bit. So I'm just kind of making sure everything matches up and lines up as close as I can get it. Fabric is so unpredictable when you're trying to sew small pieces together, but I think it works really easily. I mean, I haven't had any problem putting this together. So really, I'm just going to finger press everything down until I get it all sewed, and then I will kind of go over it with a roller, you know, and just kind of go down the seam, and it just kind of helps. And I don't know what it is with this wooden roller, because it really helps things to lay down. So the next part, well, let's see, I got the wing here and then the wing tip. So I'm going to sew this on the back part of this, because then we're going to put the two pieces together where it gets really tricky, and I want to show you how that goes. And I've had a lot of you leave a comment that you have this pattern and you wanted to start it. I think this is a fun pattern. I have been waiting to start this pattern, and I am really enjoying it. So I'm just going to kind of push them. Oh, this is the one I wanted to tell you about. I've already pressed it with a roller. So this one, I've got like the seams going out, but this one here, I want to take that seam, and I'm going to tuck it toward the gray, because I want this corner square to nest with the corner square that I'm going to sew on top here, and it's going to be this one. And you can see these two corner squares are going to meet up. If I can get my finger out of the way, that'll lay down. You'll see that makes a point. So when I turn this down and I line everything up, those corner squares with one seam pressed under and this one is pressed out. Oops, I want to keep it under. I can kind of nest them together, and when I nest them together, they will lay flat. And that meets right up perfectly. And when I rub my fingers across it right here, it feels flat, and it meets at the end. So I'm thinking this is going to go together nicely, and I won't have to fuss with it afterwards. I haven't had to fuss with any of them, actually, because the ones, they've all come together really well. Some of them I can just see a little bit, but not enough to make me want to take it out and do it over again. And like I said, there is no perfection. I just want it close. This one is spot on. And I'm hoping you can see how these 2 points meet up right here. So that's right at the neck, kind of, because this is your wing and this is part of your body. So I can finger press that down, and that will lay right in there nicely. So let me see, we're going to put this part on this is the head and the beak, and this part goes on the top. So I'm just going to stitch this one on real quick. So hopefully this will help you if you're starting this journey on the crows and the corn, you know, or you've never pieced before. Hopefully, you know, I can help you with the pattern a little bit because it's really fairly simple. I love the Lori Holt patterns because she makes everything with the letters, and I'll show you the other pieces that I got cut up. I've got the little alphabetties, and they're all got their right letter on them. So this piece, I'm going to take this one back. I'm going to lay that to the side because this is the bottom part. And let me see, I'm going to press this down a little bit because I got to add an end onto this. So this is the part underneath my wing, and then I need to add this piece on. So I'm just going to, it's really, after you've made a couple of them, it's like, I don't even have to look at the book. You know, you can pretty much tell where everything goes. You just don't want to get anything backwards. And thankfully, I haven't sewed anything on backwards. On this tail piece here, you always have to remember that the bigger corner square goes at the top, and you have to trim the back off before you can put the bottom corner square on for the tail. So that's kind of a, you want to remember where everything goes. So I'm just going to kind of press this down, and then this part, I am going to line it up and sew this part together so everything meets. And I might have to pull it a little bit if it doesn't meet up in the end. So I put a few stitches in it first, and then I come down here at my end, and I want to make sure everything is aligned. And I might have to just pull it a little bit because there is a lot of pieces in here, and I want it to line up. I don't want it to be short on, you know, after I sew it together. So I always try to make sure that the ends are lined up across the bottom. And if I have to pull it a little bit just to get it to come together to size, because when you're piecing, things can go askew. So I'm just trying to make sure everything is lined up. And then, as you can see, when I open it up, this is the body of the bird. And now he's ready for the head part. I mean, it's really simple, you know. And I just love it. I just love the Lori Holt patterns. Like I said, they're very easy to follow, and they're enjoyable. So I really enjoy the process instead of stitching everything, you know, each part, chain piecing, and you can do it that way, but I just like enjoying the journey of making each bird and watching it come together piece by piece. So I don't know, we're all different. You do it your way, I'll do it mine. But I really do enjoy my sewing. So, and like I said, you can press your seams open, or like I said, you can just lay them flat. There is a lot of, you know, points in here because you've got these little corner points in here and stuff, but like I said, if you press it good or use this little tool here to kind of iron your seams down, this thing works really great. But there is some humps in there, but even when I've quilted my own quilts, I don't have any problem with my quilter quilting over any of my little piecing humps and stuff. It all just lays down. So, but I will go over it with an iron and press it really good as well when I get it together. So these are the legs, and I start with these first. There's these 3 little strips, and the middle one I sew it to one side of the leg, and I put the pretty to pretty. Very, very simple. I gotta use my fabric slides around a little bit, so I kind of have to finagle it. I want everything to line up. And then on these, I want my seam to go toward the yellow part of the leg. I always, you know, press to the dark side. So, and then I'm going to put this other strip of yellow on the other side. And these will give me my 2 standing legs. Get this lined up. Okay, and then we got the two legs. So I'm going to press that. Nope, pressing it this way. I did it wrong the last time too, so I want to press it outwards. So I'm going to roll that with the seam roller. I love this thing. I've used these occasionally before, but this wooden one, I don't know, it just really works really well. So now there's two pieces for your bottom, and there's the short one that goes in the front, so the legs will line up under the belly. The long one goes underneath the tail, so that's another thing you don't want to get backwards. Of course, I don't know if you could get it backwards because then you could just flip it around because all you got is your two little legs. So, but I just try to keep things in mind that help me remember, you know, just to keep things where I know where they go. Just remember that the short side goes under the head, the long side goes toward the tail. So now on this one, I want to press that seam to the yellow because it's the dark. Just gonna finger press that, and then I'm going to sew this one on the other end. And our bird is almost complete. Once you get the legs down. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have this quilt top, at least the inner body of it, done today. Okay, short side to the left, long side to the right. So the rest of my bird here, as you can see, he's come together. So he needs a little pressing, and then this part is going to go on the bottom, and his legs will go right underneath his belly. And I want to line everything up and make sure it's even across the top, and the edges line up. And then I want to check my bottom to see if I need to kind of just tug it out a little bit so everything lines up, and it looks like it's going to line up beautifully. So I want my seams here because I have them pressed, and I want them to, oops, see, it's going to flip on me, I have to watch it. But I just want all my seams to lay nice and flat where they go. All right, and that's how you make the left-facing bird. So I'm just going to kind of finger press it down, but I'm going to take you over and show you my table over here, and I've got all the pieces cut up, and we will lay out the right-facing bird. So, all right, you can see I've got all of my pieces laid out here. This is everything that I need to make 9 crows. So we did make 8 left-facing crows on my design wall, and for the right-facing crow blocks, we're going to make 9. So it's telling me to do this a little bit differently than what I put the first ones together. So first it's telling me I need a D block and an L block. So my D block is going to go here. Put these on the right thing. So I haven't made a left-facing crow block yet, so I am kind of winging this. So, and this is a corner square, and of course I'm going to kind of finger press to start, and then I will press them all with my iron so that they lay, so I know where everything goes. So it's kind of the same concept, but just in a different order. So I need a C and an N, a C, and of course I need an O too, because I know what this is, the tail. And it's going to have me do this here, and then an O block is going to, and I cheat when I do these. I think the directions might tell you to draw a line from corner to corner, but this just works best for me. I finger press them, and then I put them into position, and that way I know where to sew them. And sometimes they don't always go perfect, so I have to redo, but that's just part of it. So as anything, I just enjoy the journey of my sewing. So I think everything that we're putting together for this block is going to just be the opposite direction of what I did the first time. So this is going to be the wing, and I'm going to need 2 L blocks for that, which I am thinking I'm just going to place them in the corner here, because I know that one goes there and one goes, oops, I got an extra one, and one goes here, and I will press them which way they need to go because they go in opposite corners. So let's put that one back over there. We got the extra one, okay. And then we got the K with the G. So the K, which is here, and we need a G block here, so K with a G. So I'm just kind of walking you through. I like to lay everything out, and then, like I said, I put one bird together at a time, just because I like to enjoy the process. And then let's see, we have an E with an F. So the E, no, E with a P. And I'm going to kind of layer these on top of each other because I pretty much know where everything goes. So I'm just kind of putting it together. There is pictures in these directions, and it tells you where everything goes and how to do it. So it's very simple. Don't doubt yourself. So that's going to go in that corner. And I'm just going to overlap my blocks because I'm going to sew all of my corner squares down first, and then everything else will come together. So then I have a J with a G. Did I not do with J with a G? I did a K with a G. Now I need a J with a G. The J and the G, they go with the beak. So the G. These alphabetties are great for keeping everything numbered. You can find them on the Fat Quarter shop or in your local quilt shop, usually carries them. My local quilt shop is usually Sheets So Creative or the Sew What shop in Addison. I'm pretty sure that Addison carries them, but I do know that Sheets So Creative carries them. So they're very handy. Okay. So let's start with this. I think this is all my pieces. It's just everything is different. So I know we're going to need a F block behind that. So I'm going to stop here. I've got my little pile here of what I need to sew my cornerstones on, and I'm going to take you back over to my sewing machine, and I will stitch them together. All right, to save time, I've sewed on all the corner squares and I have trimmed them off. And this one here, as I told you, it joins this one. I have kind of tucked my seam allowance to the back side, toward the gray, and this one toward the outside so that I can nest them together. So it's basically the same concept as sewing the left facing. The right facing goes together just the same way. It's just in opposite directions. But it can be a little tricky. You have to kind of look at the pictures and stuff. I've already sewed the legs together to save time. So I'm just going to sew these pieces together basically the same way I sewed the left-facing crow, except these are just going in the opposite directions. And I know when you make one, and you make a bunch of them, it's you kind of got to switch gears to kind of get in the mode to do it the opposite way. So it can be a little tricky with the brain, I guess. So I don't know, but I'm going to finish these crows up today. I've got all of my pieces cut, and I am ready to get these done. I move along pretty quickly with a quilt, even though this week has been a little bit busy. But I've been out here all morning preparing and getting things ready and cut up. So there's the first part of our bird on our head, and I'm going to go ahead and put the top piece on that. I know in this version of the right facing, she has you put the blocks together a little bit differently than you did, or a different order, I should say, than the first set. But once you know what you're doing, I mean, it's really simple. It's just, I don't know, it's just so much fun. But if you've never pieced before, like I said, these are really easy patterns to follow. So I'm going to go ahead and put the tail feathers onto the wing. This is a good pattern. She has all of the directions, everything, she tells you what to cut in each background, the bird body, the wing, the beaks, the legs, the back, I did say the background, but it's just, easy to follow. Your ruler does your measuring for you. Just follow your ruler. And I'm going to let this go in the which way it wants to go. So that is the tail feather part. Oops, I want to keep that under. So now I want to put that top on, and this is where I want my seams to nest together. So I'm going to kind of get them in there so it feels right. And it'll feel nice and flat, like I said, once you lay it down, because them seams will just line up. So I'm praying to the quilting God that everything comes together, and make sure that my ends are the same. And we'll see if she lines up. Okay, and it's perfect. It's perfect. I love this. Whoops, wrong way. We are a right-facing crow now. So, yes, now when I flip this over and I finger press it down, my points meet up perfectly. And like I said, if they're a little off, you can tweak it by taking it back out, but if it's close, because some of them are just, you can't hardly tell unless you're really looking. We are our own worst critics when we're putting things together, and we all want to be perfect, but life isn't perfect. This is a journey, and you want to enjoy. And by the time I get this whole quilt done, nobody's going to pick it apart. At least I wouldn't think so. Once it's quilted and you're enjoying it and covering up with it, it doesn't matter. I mean, unless you're a perfectionist. I'm not a perfectionist, and I am not perfect, but I do love the journey of doing this. So, like I said, don't be so literal. Don't be afraid. If it's not perfect, keep going, because you will only get better. And my favorite line is, practice makes progress. Thank you, my niece Carrie. She told me that a long time ago, and I was like, I love that line, and I'm going to stick to it. Because it is true. If you keep going and keep practicing and keep sewing, you're going to get better. I know so many quilters out there, and they're seasoned quilters that have been doing it for years, probably since their young years, and they're really good at it. So I can only hope that I will be as good as them one day. So we're going to get this bird together, and I'm going to stick it up on my wall. I'm excited. I can't wait to see, because I've got like all kinds of blanks here where all the right-facing crows go, and I can't wait to start filling it in to see how it's going to look. This is the exciting part, it's like putting a puzzle together. That's the only way I could describe this kind of sewing, is just like, I love the piecing, because I'm building something, and it's like a puzzle, and I just love it. So there's my bird body, and then I'm going to add my bird head, and then his legs are already there, so I could just stitch them on. So bear with me, and we're going to stick him on the wall, and then he's going to follow along with 8 others. So I just want to get everything lined up here. And make sure everything is meeting. where it should. Okay, we have his head on, and I'm trying to figure out which way I want it to press. I think this way. I'm not really an open seam presser, even though I've tried it, and there is a lot of seams in this, but you have to kind of do what feels best to you. So I've just kind of played around. So he looks different, being he's a right facing, but he's a crow. And in the pattern, the crows, she has the right and the left crows on different fabric colors or whatever. You know, they're slightly different in the pattern, but I don't want to. I wanted mine all the same. I didn't want to mess with two different wing colors and two different body colors. I love this black on black. I don't know what the name of it is, but the grunge is a Moda grunge, and I don't know. I didn't look on the salvage, but use your imagination when you pick out your colors. I don't like being a copycat, you know. I mean, I like to pick what speaks to me, so I always say paint your own picture, but you know, if you like mine, that's okay. You know, if you want to do it like mine, I'm cool with that. You know, I like to be different. So, but a black on black would be beautiful. It's a black on black flowers, and Erin has it in her shop, but I don't know what the brand of it is. She has so much stuff in there that I just go around, I see what I like, and I just, you know, I'm like, I want that. And today is the start of a shop hop, and I know it's on Facebook how long the shop hop lasts, but there is lots of shops, and she is included in the shop hop, and they are doing it a piece of cake shop hop. And you go around to all these shops, and they give you a layer cake square in a Christmas theme. So, but if you hit all the shops, you got to get a passport too to get all the shops, and they give you a layer cake square. And I think after you hit all the shops, you should have enough layer cakes to put together a little Christmas quilt or project. You know, use your imagination. So there's my right-facing crow. Isn't he awesome? So let's move up to my wonderful design wall. If I can operate this thing here, bear with me. We're going to go up, and maybe up a little further, and over this way. And you can see I've got some holes in here to, let's see, this way. Oops, wrong way. This way. Okay. I am going to put him, let's see, can you see? Right in here. Yep, this would be my first spot. So this flannel wall that I got is not really flannelly. It's very like a flannel cotton. I don't know. You know how most flannels have like I don't know, this is more of a brushed flannel, I think. But my blocks stick to it, and that's all that matters to me. So I usually think flannel is more flannelly, I guess. But this is, let's see now, my blocks are probably slightly off, but once they go together, you know, of course, I'll tug and pull and make them line up, because they're all, I think they're 9.5 by 11.5. I'll have to look at the pattern. Let me look on here and see what the blocks are 9.5 by 11.5. So that's what they finish out to each block. And so, yeah, I kind of have to play with it and make sure it's going to stick up here. I had my temporary design wall up here the other day, and this came in the mail later that day, so Jim got right around and put it up for me. But I was playing with that, and my blocks kept falling off from it. So this is so much better. None of these have fallen off the wall. So, all right, so I am going to get busy with the rest of these right-facing crows. So you'll have a left, a right, the left, the right, the left, the right, and then the left. And then after I get all my crows done, I will work on getting the border filled in, and I'll probably do an inner border as well, like in the background color, just because I love it. And I have extra because I bought what was left in the bowl, because I think I don't know, might have been a yard or so. I'm not sure. But I thought maybe I could talk to you about some other things, and since I have a little time. So let's, I'll take you back over to my table and I'll show you some interesting things. So I got a little show and tell I thought I would do with you after I got done with showing you how to do the crows and the corn. So I have on a t-shirt, and this t-shirt was designed by Jim and I. And I always said I wanted to plant the seeds of creativity because I am a creator and I am very passionate about sewing. So we have designed this shirt of sowing seeds of creativity. And it is, if you can see this, it's a seed packet. And of course it has the sewing machine on it and some flowers, and I've got some thread twinkles on me. I've got some quilt blocks here on the side, and there's also a little bee, so he can pollinate the flowers. And we have Country Farmhouse quilting on here. I had picked a darker shirt, so I don't feel like my design really shows well on this shirt, so if I would have picked a lighter color, maybe it might have showed more. But this is my concept, of Country Farmhouse quilting. We are getting back on our feet, and hopefully we'll be quilting after the first of the year. But I do want to sow the seeds of creativity, and I hope maybe you would like to help sow seeds of creativity as well. So if you would like one of my t-shirts, with sowing seeds of creativity, we do have them for sale, and they are on my YouTube page. There should be a link where you can get a t-shirt, and they are $25. And I also have another shirt, and I haven't gotten one yet, that we have designed together with my magic hat and the Fabricadabra with some quilt blocks and Country Farmhouse quilting. It is so fun. So I don't have my magic hat out here today, but when you're sowing seeds of creativity, you need something to kind of fertilize your seeds and make them grow. So to fertilize your seeds and make them grow, you need some fabric. So I went to a new fabric store the other day, and it is Sue's Quilt Creations. She's in Towanda, and she is online, and it's suesquiltcreations.com. I will have Jim put a link in the description box for you, because she was very, very generous to me and gave me some gift certificates when we lost our house back in January. And I thought I lost those gift certificates because I couldn't find them. And then as we were unpacking all the fabric and the beautiful things that everybody had sent in here, I ended up finding the letter or the envelope that was in one of the totes, and the gift certificates were inside of it. And it's like, I must have really had some smoke brain going on, because I didn't know where I put those gift certificates. And so I decided to use them the other day and go to her quilt shop. And I found some really awesome fabrics in there, because everybody carries something different, and she really wasn't that far away. So I just wanted to kind of go over with you and show you, some of the things that will be up and coming, because, we're in October and Christmas is going to be here before you know it. So I got this cute little Christmas panel, and it is Snow Hill Farm. I don't know, I probably should have this on my design wall, but if I decide to do this, which I would like to do this as a special gift for Christmas, you'll probably see this up and coming. So it's just got little farm animals on it, and I just kind of wanted to show you that. And then I got some coordinating fabrics that weren't Christmassy that she had, but went with the farm theme. So I got this windmills to go with that panel, and I also got this red with the cotton, the cotton, how it grows, the raw cotton or whatever, just, because fabric is made out of cotton, and I just thought that would be really cool. And I do have some nice Christmas fabrics that I'll probably mix in this. So this might be an up-and-coming tutorial later on, and I know a lot of people have asked about panels and how to do with them, and there's so many ideas you can do with a panel. It's wonderful. So the next thing I found this little fabric bundle, and it's just a light color, like a background, but it has these tiny little doggy footprints in it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, now we have Dozer, and I've got to make him a quilt. So I haven't gotten that started yet. So that's something that might be coming for that. So then I found another fabric that was this robin egg. I don't know, it looks like robin eggs, but they're speckled, and it has this beautiful teal background, and I just loved it. So I found some coordinating fabrics for that as well. No, they're not in there. Let me get stuff out of this bag. The coordinating fabrics. Oh, here we go. I found some coordinating fabrics to go with the eggs. So I found the bird's nest with the eggs in it, and also the birds. This would make a great table runner, or I don't know, something fun. I just got a little bit of it. I think there's a yard of the eggs, and I think I got a half a yard of the coordinating fabrics, and I'll probably do something fun with that. So there's a lot of good things coming up. Here's another fabric. I got two of them that are coordinating. These are like the wash, dry, and fold. I had a couple of these in the gray and white that my Aunt Sally had gave me a gift certificate to a shop up in Rochester. And they survived my fire, but they're really burnt. So I would have to cut them up in little pieces. And I also got the coordinating fabric that has the little irons on it. So I'm really excited to have these. I would really like to make like an apron out of these, like, I don't know, like laundry day or when you're cleaning the house. You know, I always wanted to make me a house cleaning apron, and Jim teases me because I don't wear my aprons, but I really need to start because my grandma always wore them, and I just love them. I love making them. I haven't made one yet. So, and the next one I found is this chicken fabric. My sister talked me into this because, of course, we have chickens here. And then I found some coordinating fabric, and this looks kind of retro-y, and I thought they would look really great together because it has those greens in it. So that might be something fun, maybe an apron, who knows. And then the last thing I got was this, and this I just couldn't resist. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it has these little sheep on it. I'm kind of obsessed with sheep. And then the colorful little flowers, it's just really pretty, and I might do something fun with that, I don't know. But there's a lot of color in there that you can really add to their fabrics to, and I really love doing that. And then last thing I got from her shop, and this I really want to make, and this is called a Stargazer quilt, and it's a quilt card, really simple. And she had this Stargazer quilt hanging on her wall, and I absolutely loved it. And she had it in these really light colors, with different really light colors of scrappy background colors. You know, they were real light, like creams and stuff, and then the stars were like this mix of, you know, soft colors. And I don't know, my mind runs wild with something like this because I look at it and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I could see that into a Christmas quilt. I could see that into like different colored stars with picture blocks in the middle. There's a lot of fun things that you can do with this. And I have a very wild imagination when it comes to creating fabric. So if you would like to check her out, like I said, Sue's Quilt Shop. She's in Towanda, PA, and I will have the link in the description box. So yesterday while I was at errands, I showed you I picked out another, a different border fabric for what I originally wanted for my crows in the corn. But before I left, we were looking at patterns, and shame on me, I got crazy. So I have a lot of quilts I want to make, and I have a lot to make up for because I lost so many. But the first one I found was this cute little otter quilt, and this one looks like it might be a little complicated because it does say that it is skill level 3 confident piecer. Well, I think I'm a pretty confident piecer because I think this would be really fun to do. So I'm thinking this will be a upcoming quilt to put into the next year's Peacemakers quilt show. The next thing I wanted to do was this cute little runner, and it has these little mason jars, and it has a little fruit in it with cherries, an apple, and a strawberry, and the little border around it is 1.5-inch squares, so it just needs that little checkered. This will be a fun one, and this one I'm sure is going to be a tutorial because that's just going to be fun. Even though I can't give you the exact measurements, you could always get these patterns. And I guess this one is called Pieces from My Heart. Sandy Jervis as the maker. Oh, it's a Riley Blake design, so that might tell you something. I don't know if Erin has more of these, but if you want to get them online, because I think she might have got these somewhere, and I don't know if she has copies of them. This one's from Art East. And I don't know, so it's Art East. That's all I know about the otters, but they're really cute. This one caught my eye because it's got a squirrel on it. And I love this, but I want to modify it. So this one with the squirrel, I love the squirrel with the mushrooms, but I thought I would like to keep the squirrel and the mushrooms and maybe throw in acorns instead of the mushrooms, because I have the Lori Holt books and she has an acorn in there, and I'm thinking, oh, I could run with this in so many different things. Like I said, I have a crazy brain. So that will probably be an upcoming maybe a you know, a tutorial or show or whatever. You know, when I bring you all in here, you know, you never know what I'm going to be making because it's just going to be great. So, oh yes, I want to tell you about the quilt maker, the Peacemakers quilt show is next year. The Peacemakers of Elmira, and we got this. I went to my meeting this month, and the quilt show is going to be April 25th through the 27th of 2025, and it is going to be called Quilts in Bloom. I am really excited for this quilt show, and of course, when this year when we had the Corning quilt show, because I belong to that guild too, I only had 2 quilts to put in that show because, you know, I didn't have any quilts to put in it because they all burned up. So I am going to be really a crazy quilter, and they asked all of us women at the Peacemakers, you know, if we could contribute 5 quilts, and some of the ladies were like he and hawn, and like they didn't know if they could come up with 5 quilts, you know, by the time the show was, you know, to come along. And I'm thinking, I'm definitely going to have 5 quilts, maybe more, I don't know. And also to let you know, I do have my baking quilt done, quilted and binded. Erin has it at her shop, but next time I'm there, I will try to get a little clip. She's going to hang it up in her shop so we could show it off, and she hasn't gotten it hung up yet, but I want to keep you in mind and keep you in the loop with that one too. That one will probably end up going to the Peacemakers quilt show. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up for now. I hope you enjoyed this journey of the crows in the corn. I love it. It's so colorful. I can't wait to finish it, and I can't wait to throw it over me when the weather's starting to get chilly already. So I'm thinking I'm going to have this done by this weekend. So I will keep you, I will show you what it looks like when I get the top done. I can't guarantee it'll be quilted, but I will show you the progress in that next video. So stay with me. If you're new, please subscribe. You never know what's going on. I have a brand new space here, and we're going to enjoy it, and I'm hoping to share it with all of you. So take care. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day.